Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you coming back, returning. This is a cup of Joe Biden. I've had this cup for over a week now. I intended to read it, but I never got to. Life happens, but here I am. A few of the things that came out by the asa, or the handle, have already happened. So let me just recap that. So we wanted to know, I did a cup on Joe Biden because we wanted to know what will be happening in the U.S. People were tired of Putin, so am I. I am with you. We want to know what's going on here. I'm in total agreement. And I go and I make this cup on Joe Biden, and what's the first thing to pop up? Vladimir Putin. Sorry, but that's what comes up. You guys that have been with me for a while, you know him already. This is exactly what he looks like in each and every single taza. A petite little guy with elevator shoes or platform shoes and a round little head, light hair that looks exactly like Putin's head, right? That's him there in the asa. So he is getting news from this military person, and this military person is very worried. He has his head down. I think Putin, not that I think, it seems like he's very hard on them. He's throwing them out of windows, right? Those are the oligarchs. But if he doesn't like what someone did to him, he takes revenge on them. And I think these people are scared. Look at him. Here he is with his head down. He's also a smaller man. He's not that much taller than Putin. He is a little bit taller. And he comes with bad news about this other territory down here. Putin is in one area and this man is coming from another area. And he's discussing the territory. Obviously, this is the war going on in Ukraine. They're losing a lot of soldiers. And this already came out in the news, and I think Putin is ready for peace talks. He's going to try to end the war. Lavrov said in Delhi that Russia attacked them, and everyone laughed at him. They're running out of options here, and I think they're going to start trying to set the stage to end the war somehow. Well, I want to tell you that this is the fourth time that I'm reading this Biden taza. I made these tazas over a week ago, and I intended to make them months ago. So they're actually very delayed, months and months and months delayed, and that's kind of why it makes sense why they're popping up now. Then after I made them a week ago, I just sat on them for over a week. And now, the Biden cup, almost everything on it it's in the news. But I'm going to do it anyway because, I'm trying to teach you how to read the taza, and you'll see what I mean. Not everything has happened yet, but almost everything. I was trying to... That's why I'm just going to do my own thing, because I know how I relate to the taza. So I was trying to do a bunch of tazas in one day while I had the time. And instead of doing just one taza, I do my meditation on one taza and then just doing a bunch of them. That doesn't work. That doesn't work for me. I've noticed that does not work. It's the equivalent of me asking you to clean your house from top to bottom in one day so that you don't have to do it again for the rest of the week. It is very frustrating. It's very intense. It wears me out. Then I have to go back to my real life, working and, hanging out with my family and my pets and taking them to the vet and doing all these things. And then I don't get to read them. I don't get to shoot the video. I don't get to, clean up the sound, edit the sound, and then post the video. So that's not going to happen again. I thought it was the right thing to do, but it was not the right thing to do. I turned to the Three Stooges. I was all Three Stooges. I shot the video the Wednesday. of the Joe Biden cup, and I had a turtleneck, and the sound just kept going on my turtleneck. It kept making a bunch of sounds. Then I messed that up. Then I did it again, and then my heater, something was wrong with my heater, and the heat just kept blasting and making a weird sound, and then I couldn't edit out the background noise. Okay? And then I did it again. I put it in my phone, and I couldn't put the name on it, and I ended up deleting it. I put the video in my phone. I ended up deleting it because my phone didn't, by that point, my phone didn't have any more memory, so it asked me to delete videos, and by mistake, I deleted the video I had just shot. So this is the 4th time I'm making this Joe Biden video. If by this time, this video doesn't come up right, I'm going to let it go. I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to let it go. This is the 4th time. I'm done. This is it. So I didn't want to come up here all upset and tell you that because it was my fault. I was like the Three Stooges. I messed it up. I couldn't get the technology right. I didn't have any forethought about the clothes I was wearing and the noise it was making. So it's been all my fault. I was just Three Stooges, working, was doing stuff around the house, taking care of my pets. I had people over. I wanted to be social. I really enjoyed my time with my family and friends. I wanted to do that. And I just could not get all these readings done. So that's what happened with this Joe Biden. So instead of being grumpy and mean and all that, I decided to just accept that I made a mistake. I just kept being Three Stooges about this. Technology, wrong clothing, bad sound, my heater, whenever it was just a hot mess. So this is the 4th time, and let's hope it goes through correctly. Okay, so let's do this Joe Biden cup. Ay, Dios mío, God give me patience. Oh, as soon as I start doing this, somebody coming up in here, somebody's ringing my door. Hold on. So like I said, I made this taza over a week ago, so this has already happened. These talks and this already happened, even though this has not been on the news, it already happened. You know how I know? Because over here, we have Biden laying in hospital, and we know he had some sort of lesion removed, cancerous lesion removed. Those of you that have been with me for a while know that this is a hospital. This is someone laying in hospital. And that already happened. So this happened before Biden got his legion removed. Putin trying to have peace talks has already happened, guys. And he got turned down flat, I guess. Because this is the conditions that we set out for him. And he's stuck. He hasn't said yes or no yet, but already happened. So then this gentleman, the Western person, either American, European, or Ukrainian, who had the conditions set out for him in writing, has his back turned against them. Phone call to Biden's, I guess, staff or his military people. Is like a military person. This is a military man. Tall, robust. Americans, we come out robust in these Tazas. This is how I know an American. Look how thin the Russians are, and this is probably a European person. Oh no, or it could be an American, a thin American, but this is definitely an American. He's here with Biden at hospital. Biden is laying down, and he's telling Biden, "Yeah, Putin reached out to us," and that just made Biden's. I think it helped him heal. I think Biden healed and sprung up quickly after he found out Putin is running out of options. So here he is, Biden, and then, guys, he goes, after he is in hospital, he's laying down here, he goes on vacation. Biden, we're going to hear in the news, he's going to go on vacation. And I think when he goes on vacation, it's going to be, I think it's Camp David. I know he has 2 homes in Delaware. Who has 2 houses in Delaware? Biden. I've heard of people having a house here and then a house in the Keys or somewhere warm. He has a house. He has 2 houses in the same state. Okay, but it's not that. It could be, but I don't think so. I think this might be Camp David, you guys, because it's an enormous area and it's a large place and it has 2 I got to look it up. I don't know about Camp David, so maybe it's top secret. But it has like two houses, two structures. One structure, perhaps for the family, for the first family and their closest friends, where they reside, and then they have, the vacation, the time off. And then another structure for perhaps the service people, the domestic service that work there, the labor that work there. And that part is probably where the cooks and the people that run the place keep it going, but also the Secret Service go to relax. Perhaps there is some Secret Service with Biden, obviously, right? But also the bulk of them go and they stay in this area here. And not only that, they park their cars there. I see one bunch of cars parked in this area, in the where the other structure, behind that other structure. So you have the Camp David structure, and it has either a pool or a pond or water fountains in the front or the side of the house. And then behind that, there's another home back there where the domestic and the Secret Service and all the cars are parked. Like they got to go around. Ooh, I keep moving this thing. They got to go around like that, and then they park their. So this is the front, and then they got to go like this to go around to the other structure to park their homes. So while Biden is there, there's many, many papers coming in, and there's discussion of money and bills and, all this presidential and congressional and political things going on here. All these things require money and documents. Things just don't spring out. You need to set it in writing, and then money needs to be allocated to it. So that's why it always comes out with money and things in writing here. And he has two people that are with him. A lady, maybe it's the VP, maybe it's Kamala. So maybe it's her and another gentleman who's in the army. And they are people of color. They are people of color. The gentleman is in the army. He's a very dark-skinned African-American man, tall and heavy set. And then the other lady is like also a woman of color, medium skin, like really nice body. And she's like going away, like she came in to drop it off, but he stays with this other gentleman here who's in the military, and they speak. And she goes there, and she, she's trying to be as respectful of their time, the family time, as possible, but she's still working with them. And she goes there, and then she realizes, he's been ill, so she kind of gives him that space. And here is Biden. After that happens, here he is sitting like on a lawn chair, sitting now with an awning over him, and another person, another military person by him. And here's the woman of color again, and she kind of brings papers to him, and they kind of talk, and so kind of respecting each other's space. So contrary to what you hear in the news, I think it's just they just respect each other's space. So he's sitting there, and more things are coming to him, more information from abroad and from different states. And he's now sitting. Here he was laying down, very ill, like getting his lesion removed in hospital, in an actual hospital, laying down, surgery. And here he is now, sitting upright as he is recuperating on a chair. And still working. He was working while he was laying down, and he's working while he's sitting. At some point, eventually, I think his family and everybody's telling him, Joe, please, you got to relax. Just forget about everything. Take a day, at least 24 hours or 2 days. Take 48 hours, where you can just relax. And he does recuperate. You know how I know he totally recuperates? Because here he is. You guys could tell. Here he is playing basketball. You could see him standing up, arms in the air, and a ball there. It's like he's playing basketball, like he's going to shoot it up in a hoop. Clear as day. Clear as day. We may see that in the news. We may see him playing basketball in the news. We may see this 80-year-old octogenarian playing basketball in Camp David. If not in Camp David, somewhere in one of those presidential homes where he can stay. Okay? Hold on, let me check the sound again. Paranoid. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys, I apologize if I sound worn out. I wish I could do a taza early in the morning. Ooh, that's like my dream, to do tazas early in the morning. Because I'm pretty worn out right now. Okay, so here he is playing basketball. Here's someone, again, in the military that works with Biden, facing this other man, also in the military, very pensive, very smart, intelligent person who has his head down. I think maybe this person works with the First Lady or is in charge of, it's either in the First Lady's staff or is in charge with protecting the First Lady. This person has his head down. It's like he knows something that upsets him. Okay, so you guys know I'm a Democrat. I'm pro Joe Biden. But if I see something that's I'm reading it, I'm going to tell you. I'm not sure what this is, but this gentleman seems sad. Now, he's not angry, but he's extremely upset and sad about something happening here. I don't know if it's a bill that he warned them about. Maybe because he's very thoughtful. So it strikes me as someone that may have warned them about something like, hey, if you want this to turn out this, and way, you have to act this way, this, and way. You know, like someone in the military, someone that has world experience and had advised them, and they didn't listen to him, and now he's worried and upset. And he's talking to this other person in the military, other younger man in the military, taller than him, thinner than him, and they're both facing each other, but he has his head down. And I think he's somehow more taking care of the First Lady here. I don't know what that's about. Maybe we'll hear about it in the news. We'll see. You know, we're learning together, right? We learn as we go along. That's all I can tell you. I'm going to keep my eyes out because I want to know who this gentleman is, because he seems like a very good person, very thoughtful person, very emotional in a way here. Okay, so here you got Joe Biden and Joe Biden, and good for him. They're kissing. They're kissing, you know. He's 80 years old. He'll be 81 in November. And that's very healthy to have romantic love in your life, right? At any age. But I think especially at 80, right? So here he is. He's like on a lower step. She's a step above him. Like they're on two little steps, and she's shorter stature than him. So she's standing above, a step above him here. And they're kissing. And she has some sort of hat with like a flower on top of something. Maybe this is during Easter or the summer. They seem happy, very happy. So good news for him here. And here I see these black people, these African American people. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the children. So I hope this to me is that, okay, so they don't seem extraordinarily happy, but they seem to think like, well, at least we got this sort of thing. So hopefully some bill gets passed to do with children. Minority children, African American children. And I saw on the news app today, like I said, I wish I would have done this test. I'm never doing that again because I'm so hurt now. Every time I see, everything here is already in the news almost. But there's something you guys know. Look, you can see. Look at these two kids. Here's a little boy and another little boy, and they're like at a beach, like at an area with a beach with these older adult people taking care of them. Here's another one. Here are two, and these two, like I can't see them giggling or anything, but it looks to me like they're hugging each other and giggling and walking through the beach. So they're happy. And They're black and brown children here. So perhaps there will be some sort of bill or protection for minorities passed one way or the other, and for children as well. So cute. You can almost see his flat top there. He has like a cute little haircut. And like toys in the water. More kids here, and these two. This one is an older person. Talking to this. These two, much younger than this person. Some of them seem military too. Something for military families? I don't know, guys. Something for military families, African Americans, minorities, to do with children will be passed during Joe Biden's presidency. And then here's this really beautiful woman. She's a black woman, African American woman, very, very tall. Look how tall she is. Look how she's all legs. Tiny little waist with her, nice hips and like small waist and voluptuous. And then she's like thin at the top. She has like this really nice haircut, above shoulder haircut. I don't know. I've never had Michelle Obama on my readings, but you know how Michelle Obama's almost 6 feet tall? It's that sort of look. And she's speaking to this Caucasian man. And they're working together for something. You see the papers? They're working together very, very hard to achieve something. These two people. Hopefully we'll see them in the news. I don't know. I'm learning as I go. I don't know what this is. This African American tall, beautiful lady with this other gentleman, Caucasian gentleman. Almost androgynous. So I wonder. This gentleman looks kind of androgynous. Now I wonder if it's a very, very young guy or perhaps someone from the LGBTQ community. And they're working together here. Okay, and so that's what I missed. Ooh, look at all this. It smells amazing. So that's kind of what I missed. I messed up on the video, but the rest I did get the bottom. So we'll continue with the video I shot a few days back from here on. Thank you again for your patience, and I thank myself for my patience. I was pretty mad. It was all my fault. I'm being Three Stooges about this. I deal, It's easier to blame it on technology, whatever, but it was me that made the mistakes for rushing. I'll take it easy. I think I might do one taza at a time. That's the best thing for me. People that don't read taza don't understand, and everyone's like, why don't you do like 6 cups in one day? I'm like, why don't you clean your entire house from the roof to the basement in one day, and your car and everything? It's the same thing. It's exhausting. And then you don't get to make the videos. And then it goes, no. So now I know. That's a lesson learned for me. And I wanted to the cup on Biden because I wanted to see what would be happening in the U.S. Again, you guys, more water. I heard that there's another river snowstorm going to California. So let me tell you, if you want me to tell you about so toxic water in Ohio because of what happened with the train, right? But in most of the U.S., there's no toxic water. The U.S. is an enormous territory. Enormous. Alaska. You got, look, just Alaska itself is enormous. California, Florida, Texas. Then you have the Pacific Islands. You have Hawaii. You have New England. You have the islands in the Caribbean. You have Puerto Rico. So if you want to know in your area, you know what I could do? I was thinking about that. I could read on the governor of your state if you want that. And that way I could get more of a precise glimpse, because I can't do one taza and, what it would show me is most of the U.S. getting water, most of the U.S. the water not being toxic. But It's such a large territory that I'm sure, look at the Flint water, look at the water in Ohio. Little things like that may not come up. It will come up in general. So in general, no toxic water. In general, no, disasters. But locally, these things can still happen. But it's a little Taza. It's not going to show me the entire of the U.S. It's not going to show me Hawaii, Alaska, everything, In one shot it may, but it's not going to show me every single state or commonwealth or territory of the U.S. It's impossible. It's a tiny Taza. So could do that, right? We might do that. Check on the governor. And that might give us a more precise focus glimpse. But so far, again, more water. At the bottom here of the cup, I see several things happening. We are going to be dealing with people in the Middle East. I don't know. There might be a Middle East situation happening. Here's a bearded gentleman with like a lot of hair, and that has some sort of like covering at the bottom. I see that, and then I see oil all around it. And then in another area also to do with like graves and things like that, like mass graves. So two things: oil, bearded gentleman. That's him right there, the oil with the bearded gentleman. And then like graves. So we're dealing with things probably happening in the Middle East with maybe Iran, Saudi Arabia, Israel, and then here, all the deaths from the Ukraine war. We're going to be dealing with that. I think in the world, the situation happening worldwide, I think that the people in the U.S., we here, us Americans, we're the lucky ones, you guys. We're the lucky ones. As much as we, kind of whine about it and everything, I think we're probably the luckiest people. We're not at war. Our families are not being torn apart. Our homes aren't being bombed. We had a terrible drought and fires everywhere. All of a sudden now we have water coming in. We had it's just a lot of things that could have gone way worse that didn't. We're involved in some war by proxy, but we're not directly sending our sons and daughters out there to fight, to kill and be killed, right? The Ukrainians are fighting for their survival. They were attacked. It's a different thing. They stop fighting and they lose Ukraine. So yeah, that's what shows here in this Joe Biden cup. I'm gonna keep holding on to it because I had a really busy week. It was great. I had a dear friend of mine come and stay with us, and Cooper was just completely enamored with her. and we had a great time. And so I'm sure we're all now catching up. We're trying to catch up with work, so things got a little delayed, and I apologize for that. But like I say, this is life, right? It's part of being healthy enough to read the Taza, right? To bring in positivity and to be able to zoom in and figure out what all these figurines are about. It's my family culture, my family tradition, and I appreciate you guys taking the time and spending it here with me. And so appreciate you guys. Blessings to all of you. Big hug from Cooper, Shakira, and me. And now let me go do that Obrador cup.